What's going on, my good people? Tapping in, holla at y'all real quick. Walking through nature, enjoying this beautiful weather. Holla at y'all real quick about freedom. Freedom. What does freedom look like to you? I believe that the definition of freedom is the power or the right to act, speak, and think by one's own, I'm putting my own words into it, by no hindrance or no restraint from anybody else. No restraint from anybody else. So basically saying freedom is the right to speak what you want, act how you want, think how you want, without somebody hindering it or without somebody stopping it or trying to determine when, who, what, where, and how. With that being said, what does freedom look like to you? Ask yourself that. What is freedom to you? Because freedom comes in different formats and different views through different personalities. So it looks different for every individual when we talk about what freedom is. For some individuals, like on a short-term level, freedom can mean just being able to speak their truth. For some others, it could be peace of mind. It's one of my biggest ones. Peace of mind. Just having peace within, peace with around you, peace with everything that just goes. Just a peace of mind in all aspects of life. Then some people, they want financial freedom, where when it comes to expenses and spending and bills and all these different things, they don't want to have to worry. They don't want to have no worry, no stress, no nothing about it. They want to be free from that. And some people want the freedom of how would I put it? The freedom of traveling, the freedom of moving how they want to move. I'm not going to dim that down in the box of saying, with your credit and all these different things, but just the freedom to be able to move light as a bird, like whenever you want, however you want, whenever you want, wherever you want, when you choose to do that. So going deep into freedom, when we talk about whether it be a history thing, we talk about all the fighting and all the different wars and all the different stipulations that was put on different nationalities, I'll say, different cultures, to fight for their freedom. And in a sense, it's like the fighting that they did opened up certain levels, certain barriers, certain things of becoming free. And then the for other people to be able to do certain things that they possibly would not have been able to be doing today if it wasn't for the people then taking the stands and doing what it is that they chose to do in those situations, to break those chains, to be free to do what we're talking about right now, which is speak freely, think freely, let their actions do the talking when they want to act on certain things, even though, it's levels to everything. But when you look at it in that sense, back then, the mentality of certain people was whatever they viewed freedom to be. So if that's the case, they fought back then or went hard about certain things back then to become free, to give the willingness for the people today to be able to think when they want, speak when they want, and act when they want. One would say, then why do a lot of people take those things, those major things, for granted, as if they're just something to a means of minimizing what the people back then put in, the work they put in to get to this point. Some people don't look at what we call the little things that count. So because we wasn't in that time frame, to each his own, but because we wasn't in that time frame of going through those specific things that our ancestors or our great-grandparents went through, even some of our grandparents, that was during that time of whether quote-unquote slavery and all these different things that they had to go through, and how life was for them, that they had to fight for those things. So now when you fast forward in the modern day, what is freedom to you? Is freedom the same thing that it was then? Possibly not. Because if they was fighting for it then, and then we got freed from it because of their fight, we're enjoying it, the fruits of their labor. So now, what is our fight for freedom for the next generation, for our children, for their children, to be able to enjoy the fruits of our labor? So when we go a little deeper on a spiritual aspect, freedom for me, of course, is peace of mind. First, peace within, then peace of mind. How do you obtain that on a spiritual aspect? Freeing your soul. Remember this old scripture. I'm not even going to call it an old scripture. It's a scripture. But when I used to go to church in the religious format, before I transitioned into the mindset of just being spiritual, it was, what does it profit a man to gain the whole world and lose his soul? Everybody got their own perception of what that may mean to them. But my perspective of it now is, when you're not awakened to who you really and truly are, you're going to go by the worldly things, systematic things, the things that you were told to do, how to do, when to do, where to do, and all these different things, the who, what, when, where, and how factor. That's what you go with. So when you're achieving certain things, certain quote-unquote accolades of the standard, which is some money, which is a promotion on a job, which is a car, which is all these things that I'm not going to minimize it, because, like I said, everybody look at different things of freedom on a different level. But that's the physical aspect of it. But you gaining those things and you losing your soul. How do you lose your soul? What is your soul? What is a connection of your individual soul? To know your soul is to know you. Number one rule is to know thyself. To know thyself, which I always say, you got to go within, connect with the Most High and your spiritual team, and you become one with yourself, and then you learn yourself. Learning yourself is becoming one with your soul, your internal entity, your internal connection of who you really truly are, the real God in you. So until that time comes when you're not completely awakened to who you are, and you're going through the different levels of understanding through another person's point of view, through another person's system, through another person's image and way of how they view the world for you, and they put you in that perspective, whether it be you having to work for them and they give you a certain type of perception of how much money you're supposed to make, how you go about making money, when you can make it, and so forth, so on, and all these different things, how you supposed to think, because basically you're a part of their systematic connections, networking, and all these different things. So you got to move when they say move, how they say jump, and they expect you to say how high, and all those different things and those terminologies that's utilized on that aspect. What does freedom look like? Are you free when you go through these things? Compare and contrast from a person who is putting in work at a job and a person who's putting in work with their own business. Are you free? Because I hear a lot of different conversations that even that I be involved in to understand what's or the difference of freedom of having your own business, making your own money, and the freedom of working a job, stacking your bread, and investing into whatever companies or your own company or however you want to do it, and becoming free that way. Is it freedom? Is it wrong? Is it right? And that's why I said from the beginning, freedom looks different for everybody. So is it right? Is it wrong? So in my opinion, none of it is wrong, because we all got different personalities of how we view life. So nothing that you view in life as freedom to you is wrong. If anything was to be said wrong, it would be if you're not in alignment with who you are. And that's my perception of losing your soul. Because if you're connected to your soul, to whatever your beliefs are, like I always say, I ain't knocking nobody's beliefs, but I'm going to speak my truth on mine. But whatever your beliefs are that you connected to, are you firmly steadfast all the way in? Do you truly understand it because this is something you connected to within yourself to understand and overstand? Or is it solely based off somebody telling you what it's supposed to be, how it's supposed to be, when it's supposed to be, and where it's supposed to be? Because remember what I said earlier, freedom, the definition of freedom is the power and the right to act, speak, and think at your own will, with no hindrance and no resistance, no restraint from anything or anybody else. So when you speak on freedom, what does freedom look like to you? I'm speaking on this just to give the idea, to put the idea in your mind mentally for you to think. Ask yourself that question. What does freedom look like to me? What is my perception of freedom for me? Not based upon what somebody told me, not based upon what somebody showed me from their own personal life or their own personal idea of what they think fits, but solely internally for myself. What is freedom for me? What does my what does my life look like with being free? And then you go from there. That's just the mindset that came over me to say, what is freedom as I look around? Because a lot of people go to work, got their own business and all these different things, which is a great thing, great aspects. But when it's time for you to, whether it be walk out in nature, whether it be connect with Mother Earth, or go out in the sun and just relax, are you doing it when you want to do it, or are you doing it based off the time that you have left over when you have that time? Because your focus is elsewhere. And I know they say focus, wherever your focus is, your attention is, or your intention is, that's where your focus go, and all these different things. And you can manifest the things you want and all these different things. But at what level, when we talk about frequencies and all these different things, at what level are you manifesting your freedom, your desired reality? Is that your freedom, whatever your desired reality is? Of course. But what does that look like to you? I'm only saying this because based upon different communication levels, different conversations, different group activities that I participated in recently, a lot of people can't answer that right off the bat for themselves. They give standardized answers based upon what somebody else told them that freedom looks like, or based upon what somebody else said it should be that didn't even reach that. So that's why I'm saying now, ask yourself, what does freedom look like for me? What is freedom to me? Based upon knowing the definition is the power and the right. And we understand what rights are. So the power and the right to act, actions, to speak, speaking out whatever your truth may be, and to think. I would go on a level to say highest form of thinking is thinking outside the box, outside of what the status quo is, or whatever a standardized set point of them telling you to think from this point, that it has to be this, that, and the third. Like, this is what I mean by freedom. What is real, true freedom? In all aspects of whatever real, true freedom is to you, you're not wrong. There's no way you could be wrong, because it's your perception of freedom. This is just something to make people question it and really think about it, who didn't take that time to actually examine it and apply it to their own individual life. And how do you do that? By going within, connecting with yourself, the Most High, and your spiritual team, and becoming one with yourself, becoming one with your soul, for you to know what freedom is to you, and then for you to attract that, manifest it, and implement it, and actually live whatever your desired reality is, whatever the desires of your heart are really in tune to you, as being in alignment with who you are. And to be in alignment with who you are is to know who you are. So what does freedom look like? Freedom looks like peace of mind. Freedom looks like financial security, financial freedom. Freedom looks like no worry, no chaos. Freedom looks like at will doing what I want, when I want, how I want, wherever I want, on my basis. Freedom looks like nobody telling me what I can and cannot do. Freedom looks like nobody telling me, because I'm not doing life the way they view life, that I'm wrong, or because I'm not taking the advice that they're giving me about life from their perspective, that I'm not right about my own. Think about it. When you really sit down with yourself, especially when you out in that sun and in nature, and really, whether you meditating or just like going in deep thought, however you want to put it, whatever works for you, and just let your mind gain that momentum and build with yourself, and ask yourself these things. Because maybe there's some people out there who are doing things in life that they really don't want to do, but their mindset is, this is what I have to do to maintain and to live life. This is what I have to do to keep a roof over my head, to keep money in my pocket, to keep a vehicle, to all of these different things. Are they right? Are they wrong? Who told you you was right and who told you you was wrong? What is real, true freedom? To me, freedom should be, and I'm not even going to say should be, because freedom is whatever you want it to be. But in my own opinion, freedom would look like doing what you want, when you want, how you want, as long as you're not interfering or hurting anybody else's perception of freedom. As long as you're not giving somebody else the short end of the stick with lies and deceit to try to maximize your level of freedom. If you can manifest and connect to your higher self, your source, your soul, your connection, and enjoy and embrace your real true freedom that you view freedom to be, and be able to help others if that's what you're choosing to do, by helping yourself and helping others, and raising the vibration and the frequency of Mother Earth, then that's freedom. That's freedom. That's just food for thought from me to you. So if you never looked at it in that sense, I'm just throwing it out there in a different perspective. Sit back, ask yourself, what is real true freedom within you, within yourself? Do the work, continue to grow, to better yourself. And nobody's in competition. Understand that nobody's in competition with you but your yesterday self. So your goal would be to be better than who you are right now. So when you're going forward in life, you'll know yesterday, okay, I learned this, and I learned more today. And I'm gonna learn more the next, and the next, and the next, and the next. That's gonna keep pushing you up. That would be considered your only competition, and it'd be friendly competition within yourself to better yourself. So, I just came on, holler at y'all about what does freedom look like to y'all, for yourself, and is it you being true to yourself when you ask yourself that question? So, I love y'all. Keep doing what y'all do. Keep putting out joy, peace, love, like I always say. And I'm going to get at y'all in the next one.